Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. Today we're going to talk about three topics. Uh, More actually, we'll talk about SSH. First we'll talk about console. SSH. We'll focus on SSH because Telnet is no longer used. Telnet not used in environment in production not secure. So we'll use SSH, we'll learn SSH, and we'll learn Syslog for logging, and we'll learn NTP for time synchronization. It's a protocol that's used to synchronize time between all of your devices. Synchronize time, yeah. And we'll learn also SNMP. Okay, we'll start with the SNMP. We'll just understand the concept or what's the purpose and all that. And then if we have time, we'll go through radius and Takakis just for concept understanding, actually conceptual understanding. We don't have to deep dive on it. Then wireless Wi-Fi protocol, TFTP. We'll talk about TFTP, just the theory again, that's all. And wireless Wi-Fi security and Wi-Fi security. So these are the topics that I planned for today, but our focus will be mainly on those topics. If we have time, we'll go through the rest. Okay, even we'll touch on the HTTP relay. Okay. So let's start with SSH. Okay, no, let's start with console. Let's start with console. We'll first. Console is basically. Remember, I told you when we in our first session we have a port on any switch or device, switch or router. This console port. This one. This is the console port. Like you see this one. This one, yeah. It's mentioned here console, right? And this one, and we have here also, yeah, this is a perfect example. Look, this one, yeah, this one, yeah. So this is a console port. Okay, this is how we configure the Cisco switches, routers, or access points, or any other device as well. Usually there is a console port, right? There is a console port that is used for configuration. So we connect to the laptop and we use PuTTY here, like this PuTTY, for example. We can just change this to, or keep this as is. Serial here, we can use serial cable, we can use COM1 serial line, or any COM, any line actually, to make sure what's the line that's been used. You can use this one, device manager. It will actually list here. If you connect your PC, it will to switch console port or access point, it will be here, the COM line number here, and then open. It will give you it will open for your terminal. So let's try it in Packet Tracer first. Let's try it in Packet Tracer. Okay, leave this for now. Let's just open Cisco, any Cisco router here, and this is one PC. Okay, so this is a console cable actually. It's going to be connected on the RS232 on the PC. Okay, and here it will be connected to the console port here. Okay, so what I will do here is, on the router, I'm going to configure the console. To configure the console is actually very simple. We just have to go to line console 0. Okay, and put the password here. Let's make it 123 console 123 console. Okay, and we'll log in, and we'll set the exact timeout. This is the timeout. Like if after this time it will stop. So we have to set it like 5 and here 0. And we can set logging as synchronous as well. Synchronous, but we don't. It's not really required. Is it? Okay. So now let's go ahead and try to access this from this PC. So there is a terminal here. Just click it. See, this is the console. So I click OK. Yeah, I was able to access. Wait 1 second. Yeah, this is the password. You see. Now let's try 123. It's not working. 123 console. Yeah, gave me the access to the router. So this is how we access this use console. Console is very simple to use, and yeah. And the next point is the SSH. Okay, we're not going to go through telnet because it's not used in production environment. SSH is a secure alternative of this, so we are going to set up telnet here. Let's just remove this and let's set up telnet here. This is one router. We will set up SSH actually, and this is another router, and this doesn't matter. Actually, we're configuring SSH here. This is one router. So let's start the router. Start and then console. Yeah. Give it some time. Give it some time, so it will start now. Okay. So once it starts, first thing we have to do when we want to configure SSH is we have to change the router name. This is mandatory. Let's right now it's R6, right? So let's host name. Wait, go to the config. See, okay. So I'm going to change the router name. I'm going to make it router 6 or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so I changed the router name, then I will add the domain name. I'm gonna name it marketing. Okay, or yeah, name it anything actually, it doesn't matter. ISP, I'll name it ISP. Okay, and the next step is I'm going to configure the username and password. The username, I'm going to call it router 6, and the password I'm going to use privilege 15. I'm going to set privilege 15, and I'm going to set secret. The secret is more secure. Secret, I'm going to put the password. So we will say I'll make the password for now Cisco 123. Okay, next step is crypto key. Okay, RSA generate. No, actually it's crypto key generate RSA modulus, yeah, 1024. Okay, you can have higher. This is the configuration, modulus 1024. Okay, so this is what we do, and then I'm just going to go to line VTY. Yeah, see this one is saying SSH 1.99. That means SSH version 2 is enabled, right? You have to make sure that SSH version 2 is used, enabled, because it's more secure than version 1. If it doesn't show you here, to be sure, you can just configure it forcefully. You can configure version 2 using this command. See, we have 2, right? Version 2. This will make the SSH version 2 by force. Okay, now let's go to line VTY 04. Okay, now but before doing this, let's use permit. For example, I'm going to permit only. I want to permit only this PCs that are on inside the network to be able to access this SSH. Okay, it's a security feature, so I can do it using access lists. Like I can use access list. I can say 1 permit. No, actually I can do it this way. IP access list standard, and I will name it SSH internal access. Yeah, that's it. And then permit, the internal network will be 192.168.1.0. And we are going to use wildcard masks here for SSH, and that's it. So I'm allowing only this internal network to access. So let's open line VTY now. VTY 04. Okay, and I'm going to set login here, and transport input SSH. Remember, this has to be done this way. And then class list will be match, will be the name actually, SSH internal access in. Let's go about this. It's actually not this one, it's access class or something. Yeah, it's access class. Yeah, the command is access class, and then we are supposed to mention the name. This one, SSH internal access. No, config t, 1 second. Config t 9vt1, and just change this one to access class instead of access list. Access class SSH internal. Yeah, so this is done. So this is how basically SSH is configured. Now you can access this using SSH. Okay, so this is what we need to know about SSH. It's used to access the router or switches or devices internal from the normal port. Okay, you don't have to use the console port for this one, and it's recommended to use SSH version 2 in production. Okay, and remember to use access list to define only. This also adds additional layer of security. So next topic in our topic is NTP. NTP is actually an important topic. Basically NTP has something called stratum. stratum 1, stratum up to stratum 2, stratum 3, and stratum 16, up to 16 actually, up to 16 from yeah, it's up to 16. Okay, we have something called stratum. Things that we need to know is that like stratum 2 is the internet. Okay, like stratum 2 is the internet. Stratum 3 is like your device. Okay, stratum 1 is the atomic clock, or not atomic clock, it's like the clock, yeah, the main source of the time. Okay, so stratum 2 gets the internet, like example time, like Google like time.google.com or yeah. So in stratum 3, okay, is your device, your router. Okay, you can check which stratum, the lower the number, the better, the more accurate the time. Okay, remember this one, remember what I'm saying, the lower the stratum number, the more accurate time you will get. Okay, so for example, if my router is in stratum 16, that means it's not good. We have to fix this. Like, we can check this by using show NTP status. It will give us the router stratum level. Okay, so we have to make sure our router is on stratum 3. Okay, we can use this command, NTP server. We will use IP here. You can use the Google's IP. You know, we have a specific IP here. I pinged with this IP is actually good. This not time.windows. This one, cool.ntp.org. This IP is, yeah, this one, cool.ntp.org. I'm using, you can use the IP here. Okay, you can configure it this way, NTP this, and your router or switch has to be connected to the internet in order to access this server. Okay, that's a requirement, mandatory. So once this is done, it will be stratum, and we have to also remember to set the time zone, like this one, clock, time zone, AST for example 3. Okay, these two are important commands, and there are more. You can authenticate and stuff, but these are the key things that we need to know right now. Okay, about NTP, what we need to know is that our devices should be in stratum 3. Okay, and we have to configure the time zone, and we have to configure the NTP and locally. Okay, yeah, so let's try to do that. Okay, this is my router. Okay, let's do show NTP status. It's not enabled at all actually. Okay, let's just close this one. Okay, let's get another router here, C720, and I'm going to use cloud to connect it to the internet. Configure, I'm going to use here not Wi-Fi, local area network, internet 1, apply. Okay, Ethernet 1, fast Ethernet 1. So this is what we will do now. first we will check. Let's wait till the PC it gets time. Okay, so this is my router now. Okay, so I'm going to config t. Okay, I'm going to do show NTP status. It's not enabled yet, but let's set it up. Let's do show NTP status. Okay, first let's remove this one. So because if I put this one, it will get the IT. Right now I want to show you without configuring NTP what happens. So let's configure NTP. Okay, server. Let's configure the this one, this IP, not this IP, this IP. So what we are going to do is that NTP server, this one. Okay, so I set my NTP. This would do show NTP status. Okay, so right now our NTP is stratum 16, right? This is the clock is unsynchronized. Let's try show clock. Do show clock. Let's see what time is it. Yeah, exactly. See, this time is actually wrong. Right now it's it should be 4:29 p.m. This is wrong, and the date is okay, but the time is actually wrong. Okay, so let's fix this using NTP. First, let's set the clock time zone. Let's set it AST 3. Okay, this is done. So yeah, actually it fixed the time zone. The time zone was not correct, so right now the time seems to be fixed. But anyhow, you have to make sure the stratum to make sure it has to be 3. Okay, so let's try to configure, make it 3 by, let's do it. Let's actually configure the NTP. Okay, let's do this one using int f0. It can get from IP to HCP, IP address to HCP, so it will get IP from the internet. Just give it time, it will no shut. Do show IP. Yeah, خلاص already I think it got, no it didn't. Do show IP interface brief. Yeah, we got the IP. So we also got the log here. So we got the IP from the internet. This is the one. Now I think if we ping let's say we ping this one, it might work. It will work. So now we have access to the internet. Let's try to ping it from the router. Great, 5/5, which is successful. So what can we do now? NTP exit, NTP server. Yeah, we're going to paste this one. Let's NTP, let's add it manually. NTP server, okay, 185.253.118.143.142. So to make sure, you can do show NTP associations. Yeah, as you can see now, we're getting there. Okay, now let's go ahead and try to see not NTP status. Yeah, right now it's in NTP Stratum's 3. Okay, so here we have configured NTP successfully. Let's try by adding another L2 switch here and see if it will get from the... No, I think there is no port here. Let's just configure the slot here. This will do. Yeah, so let's just configure here. Start the router. Now let's start the switch. Okay, we can see if it's synchronized or not. So for us, this network has to be configured once again. So let's just put in the router, let's configure int f1/0. Let's give it an IP 192.168.10. Let's do it IP address 192.168.10.1. And yeah, because I'm trying to configure the port of this router. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be on a different network. Yeah, so that's fine. Let's just exit it. Now let's try to make sure the switch syncs. We have to configure on the switch as well. Yeah, for some reason it's taking too much time to load the switch. No. It's taking longer than usual. So let's remove it altogether. Let's just remove this one. Delete. Let's use any router instead. Like the same router also, you can use, no problem. Just the same idea, same concept. 101. Start. Yeah, so let's give it some time so it will load. The benefit of NTP is that it will also help in the log correlation. Like when you want to check the logs, if the time is incorrect, you'll not be able to correctly check the logs. Yeah, so let's go ahead and try config t. Okay, R8. So we're going to, yeah, do show NTP status. Yeah, so let's just make sure the NTP server is the NTP server here should be this port, this router here. So I'm going to make sure 168 and 10.1. Yeah, so now let's see. Give it time. For some reason it's not showing here, even though it should show because I put this one as the NTP server, this port F1/0. Let's go and check F1 and 0 on the router 7. Do show IP int brief. Yeah, 10. It's actually correct. It's manual. It's up, and I should be getting this tracker. Has to be show NTP association, or you can set it up as you can set up the same NTP server and the same IP address that we used in the first router. This one. This one. Yeah, you can just make this as well, same, and it's going to work. Show entity status. Just A working. I think it's because they're on a different. Okay, because I think it's because they're on a different subnet. They're on a different network. I don't think we have access to the internet actually. From R8 we cannot access the internet. That's the issue, but you got the idea. The most important thing that you need to understand is like we have to configure the NTP and locally, internally, and yeah, locally, so all the internal device can be synchronized at the correct time. And don't forget to configure the time zone as well. And that's it for today. Thank you for having me. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next session. Okay, let's start our session. Hi. Today we are going to talk about Syslog and SNMP. Okay, so basically let's just have a look on the theory. Okay, and then we will start configuration. So basically what Syslog captures everything that happens on network devices, like for example user admin modified interface, this one. Okay, fail login attempt, device rebooted, iOS broke. It's logging all the events. It's like a login mechanism. That's what Syslog is. So it has severity. We need to understand that it has 7 levels. 0 emergency, alert, critical, error warning. But in production we will use only 4. From 4, this 4 only. Okay, in production, warning, notification, information, mostly more information and debug. Okay, these are the levels, and collects from all devices like this, like routers, switches, firewalls, servers, applications. See chain events like search across interface. So for example, firewall DDoS detected this one. So basically it's also useful for forensic analysis, root cause identification. Yeah, so that's it. So the main thing that we need to know right now for Syslog is that the basic configuration, which is this one, logging, and logging host Syslog server, and let's say this is the Syslog server .0.0.100. Okay, then logging, trap, and informational. This what kind of message it will send? Informational. To log informational messages. Okay, and here consistent loopback source IP, logging source interface, loopback 0. This is to make sure that in case the interface is down or others changed, it will still use log from this device, because we can configure the loopback IP on the router and set it like that. So this is the main thing that we need to understand when it comes to logging. Okay, Syslog, it's a way to log host IP address. It's a way to log the events. Okay, so basically just focus on this commands: logging host, the IP address of the Syslog, and logging trap information. This is the logging source. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically about Syslog, and there is one more tool we need to talk about, SNMP. Thing about SNMP is that it's a tool that's used for monitoring the device, the monitoring our switches, routers, just health, uptime. That's the main benefit of SNMP. What's the yeah, it's like a universal language for network devices. Here is the core benefit: universal compatibility and standardization. Works with everything: router, switch, firewall, server, printer, UPS, camera, whatever. Yeah. Okay, SNMP is not a Cisco proprietary protocol. You can configure it anywhere, in any device. It's vendor neutral. Okay, all vendors all speak SNMP. Okay, without SNMP, you would need different tools method for each vendor proprietary protocol. Okay, it's lightweight, low overhead, connectionless. Monitoring server asks for data only when needed. Device proactively sends alert. Single SNMP get request, typically less data. Yeah, okay. And this is its main benefit: to check the CPU, memory, disk performance of the device. What you can monitor: network status, interface status, bandwidth, in out, uptime, device reachability, inventory, environment, fan speed, power supply. Yeah, real scenario, like for example, router CPU is at 85% performance. One interface is lost, packet lost, RAM. So this is what it does: alert when it has proactive problem detection. Also alert when CPU is greater than 80% CPU usage for 5 minutes. Bandwidth usage growing, or root cause. You only know what about the problem when user complains. Without SNMP, SNMP is like it's a good monitoring tool. Okay, so there are 3 versions of SNMP. The main version is the one that's should be used as SNMP version 3. It's more secure. Okay, it provides authentication, encryption, and access control all. Okay, 2, yeah. This is the difference. Without SNMP, user complains, internet is slow. You log in each device manually, check interface one by one for high utilization. Because with SNMP, already alerted 30 minutes ago. One interface at 95% top talkers with IP most bandwidth. Implement QoS. Okay, so basically this is a tool, increase uptime, simple, real world, universal. Yeah, so basically this is what SNMP is. Okay, for the configuration, this is the minimum configuration that we need to learn for this one. So SNMP server group. First we'll set the group monitor. Monitor is just a name. Okay. Wait, SNMP server group. Okay, it's just, you could put any name here. It doesn't have to be monitor. It can be admin or whatever, right? And here it's important. You have to choose the versions of SNMP. You have to choose V3, because V3 is the most secure version. Here also it's important. The most secure is priv, and that's it. That's about it. First you configure the group, and then the user, SNMP server user, SNMP user monitor V3 auth. Yeah, so let's see this one. First we'll configure the user, right? The user can be anything, okay? SNMP user or anything. This is just a document, the name. No, actually the word means like the group. We are linking the user with the group. We define the group here, right? The name admin. We write admin here. Same, we'll choose the version. Say here we will use auth to define the type of authentication. We will use authentication SHA for security. It's more secure than MD5. And the word, this is basically authentication password for the user. Let's put the password no, Cisco 123 for now. Okay, and then we will use priv again, and we will use AES. It's more secure. It's the most secure. It's more secure than DS and 3DS. So let's use AES for encryption. This is for encryption. Yeah, and then we will use which the highest 256 or 128.256 or AES encryption, and then put the privacy password for users. You should put different here, Cisco 345 example, and after that we're just going to finish configuration. Okay, so SNMP is configured. Now we have to enable traps to send to NMS using SNMP version. SNMP server enable traps. Okay, then SNMP server host. So this is the host of the device that we have installed, where we installed the monitoring tool, SNMP monitoring tool. Like example, PRTG is the most common tool that's used. Let me give you an example here. This one, PRTG, network monitoring. This one, Forensic software tools for monitoring help. So you can install it on your PC. Okay, and assign IP, like when you get the IP, this tool. So basically this IP is for the host PC where this software is installed. Okay, so let's say 192.168.10.50 version 3 priv SNMP user. So this is the basic configuration we need to configure. So we enable the traps, okay, the events that we will send to NMS using SNMP version 3. So we need to focus this one. We have to always use SNMP version 3 only, with authentication SHA and with encryption AES 128. We don't use version 1 and version 2 in production polling, and yeah, we can use verify this one, and basically that's what we need to know with SNMP. Okay, because this is actually the commands are not very relevant, because these are only used, they are relevant, but are only used for Cisco. Okay, every device is different. Okay, some will allow you to configure using a GUI, configure SNMP using a GUI, which will simplify the configuration for you. Okay, so basically this has been a session about Syslog and SNMP, and we can talk a little bit about radius and TFTP, and it's because this is all just we are going to talk about it in theory, because radius and it's a way to where that provides authentication, authorization, and accounting. Okay, it's like for example Cisco ICE. It's a device that has all this tree, gives you all this tree, authenticates user's device, granted that you put it in your network, and it will handle for you all the authorization, network access control, authorization, authentication, and accounting. Okay, it's a device, for security. You can add it on your security. What you need to know is that about this is just the concepts. Takakas is Cisco specific. It's used for Cisco proprietary. Radius is used for other vendors as well. So that's both network protocol for authorization and authentication, but Radius is open standard. Yeah, just like I said, ideal for network access control, connecting VPN, Wi-Fi, using UDP. Takakas is Cisco proprietary, better for device administration like this using TCP. These are the key things that we need to understand. Like Radius is good for network access like Wi-Fi and VPN, while it uses UDP port 1812 and 183. Security encrypts only password, not entire packet. That's the difference. Radius actually encrypts, Takakas encrypts entire packet. It's more secure in terms of security. And transport TCP 949 Takakas, and encrypts only password. Combines combines authentication and authorization. Counting is separate. Authorization basic access control standard. Yeah. So Takakas, it encrypts the entire packet. This is the difference. If you see Radius doesn't encrypt the entire packet. Also separates authentication and authorization and accounting. If you remember, in Radius, only authentication and authorization are together, right? Together, and accounting is separate. But here, each are separate. Granular command level, Cisco proprietary, highly effective. UDP, Radius is faster and less overhead. It uses UDP. Takakas uses TCP, reliable and secure. Takakas encrypts everything. Radius only encrypts password. Use case Radius for general use case. Takakas for administrator access device. Yeah. So basically, these are the key points we need to understand about this. That's enough for us. And TFTP, it's a protocol that's used to load the configuration, to backup iOS configuration and reload configuration in case, let's say, the Cisco switch you change the Cisco switch, or the Cisco switch is damaged. You can reload the existing configuration, right? That's the benefit, and upgrade the iOS version. Or that's basically and file FTP is file transfer protocol, which is not actually recommended to be used. It's not secure, but the FTP is okay, even it's not secure. But yeah, let's see. File transfer and travel. FTP's feature rich file transfer purpose, general purpose, interactive TCP user authentication. Yeah, it's insecure actually FTP. So TFTP we need to understand. Yeah, just like I told you, it uses UDP. No authentication, no directory, highly insecure. Network booting, PXE. Yeah, it's basically deals with firmware configs of router in a local like. Yeah, so let's just try to understand in Cisco context. FTP, Cisco. Yeah, there is a tool called TFTP-DP. I have it here. 1 second. TFTPD64. This one. We can use this tool actually. Free, lightweight, open source. This one, and you can reload configuration from here. Thank you for listening, and we'll continue after the next session.